Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Promised Land podcast. I felt like I owed you an episode as it's been a month-ish since the last time we came to you on video or audio. Um, and I've got to be honest, I've needed some time to be able to do this. But look, I just wanted to jump on and record something to just let everybody know what the reason why we've been gone. The reason why the podcast has, well, we've not really done any for a few weeks now. Um, I'm sure some of you will have seen on social media. I put the message out last month. I think it was about a month ago now. But obviously that message doesn't reach everybody. And, I'm still now getting messages of condolence, of well wishes, and yeah. I mean, if you haven't found out already, Rob is unfortunately he's no longer with us. He was in hospital for a little while before I found out the news. As you may know, or may have listened to, I did a piece on my own from the FA Cup final when United won it against City. And yeah, at the time Rob was in hospital. He messaged me that day after with a message of, I can't remember what exactly he said now, but it was crying over Manchester United because he was just really, really super proud that United had managed to get the job done on the day. But yeah, I know that even now I've just posted another tweet following up, as Rob's family are raising money for the British Heart Foundation following his passing. And even now, I'm getting more messages about hope you're doing well. I didn't, I can't believe it. Didn't know this. I wondered why there was no podcast for a little while. So I thought honestly that it was worth just jumping on, me kind of talking to you guys now, whether on video or audio. No frills or anything like that. Just to deliver, obviously, the news that unfortunately Rob's passed away, and it's been incredibly difficult. It's been an incredibly difficult time for everyone. I've been in touch with his family, with his wife, in the days and weeks since, trying to help out where I can. Obviously, huge condolences and all my thoughts and all my love. And I'm sure everybody who's watching this or listening to this will do the same and send their condolences and their best wishes to Rob, his wife, his mum, his kids, because it was a big shock. Obviously, like I say, Rob went in to hospital. He's in there for a few weeks, and I was messaging him back and forth when he was there. He was, optimistic. I think we were all optimistic that he'd make a recovery, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And it's just so. Look, this is really, really difficult for me to do, as I'm sure you can understand as well, to be able to talk about it and just face up to talking about something so sensitive and something so you know dear to me in a sense, and I'm sure dear to a lot of people as well. Because I mean, the tweet that I put out, it was about a month ago now. It was a few days after I found out the news that Rob had left us. So much love and so much support from thousands and thousands of people in the United community, and beyond that as well. It was I managed to. I'm not sure his wife is actually that active on social media, but I did send the tweet that I put out sharing the news to her. Honestly, there were so many amazing messages from so many people, and it was nice to be able to share that with her, and share that with the family, because I think it really hit home for me that day, or in those days after that. I think people really liked Rob and I coming on and shooting the breeze about United. So many people have come back and said never too high, never too low. And that was something that he brought to the table, obviously. And yeah, it was really, really heartwarming to see how much Rob had meant to the United community, how big his voice was, how many people looked at anything that he said, whether that was on video, audio, social media, whatever, wherever it was, and how he really just he was very opinionated, but he was always open to reason. Always explained his points really, really well. And yeah, it was, you know, the reason why I started this podcast was because, well, it was tasked to me in work a few years ago. We were setting up a audio podcast network on 90 Min, and we wanted to do a United one. And obviously, I was, if you don't know, I'm uh, a representative and employed by 90 Min. I've been working there for a decade, close to now, maybe just over, and obviously a United fan as well. And what I think, or what I thought was maybe appropriate at the time, was to maybe start something that was a little more measured, um, a little less sensationalist, and just something that I think could resonate with people who just wanted to kind of hear some actual, just genuine, like, chat around United that wasn't sensationalized, that wasn't blown up, that wasn't too over the top. It was something you could basically stick in your ears or watch on your screen, and then be able to just put on in the background, or sit there and watch it, or put it on in the background and just listen and think, oh, that's a reasonable point. And that was the approach that I wanted to take with it, because that's kind of how I sit with it. And I was looking around the United community, and I thought, this guy, but I didn't actually know Rob before actually approaching him to start this. I'd seen he'd done some other work elsewhere. He's obviously been working in football for a long time. But the reason why I was drawn to him was because that never too high, never too low kind of vibe that you get from him, that reasonable vibe. Very clever. He was very articulate. He could really push home his points and make you think a little bit differently as well. I'm sure he definitely did that with me. And I thought that was the perfect co-host that I wanted. So we kind of struck up a relationship. I think we started doing the podcast. I think it was the start of the 2021 season, just around the time that Ronaldo rejoined. I can't remember exactly when it was. We've done a hell of a lot of episodes since then. Started out on audio, ended up doing video episodes twice a week as well, sometimes more often. I know that Rob absolutely loved doing this as well. And, it was really enjoyable time, even when United were awful. Even when United were getting smashed 7-0 by Liverpool, or 4-0 by Liverpool, or 6-3 by City, or 4-0 at Palace, or, all of this. We felt like at the time that United fans particularly needed some kind of grounding. Not needed it necessarily, but maybe some would appreciate some kind of grounding, level-headed talk among all the chaos, because it has been chaos around United for 11 years or so now. But we thought that was the right way to go with it. It was a slow burn, but eventually I think a lot of what we did resonate with people, and it was really, really fun to be able to do that, to be able to talk to Rob. We'd have our disagreements and all of this, but he took so much pride in making this, you know, in planning it and making this like as good as it could be. No, our production isn't, we don't have a jingle or anything like that. Our production isn't like tip top amazing, but what we kind of valued was the conversation that we would have. Um, and yeah, it's just really sad, really, that Rob is. Look, I'm recording this on the day that Man United are going to announce Lenny Yoro, right? um, Joshua Zirkzee is signed already. And look, this is what me and Rob had been talking about and hoping for. This new side of Man United, this new turning a page, having a structure. How many times do we talk about that? Like having a structure put in place of people in football who know what they're doing. Dan Ashworth is in, Christopher Vivell is in, Omar Barada's started, Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford are firmly in place and making changes now. Obviously, not everything is rosy. They're doing a lot of work around the men's first team that is very good, but there's the women's team, obviously. Nobody likes what's happening there. And look, if we'd have been podcasting during the last month or so, we would have been among the first to call that out because it's really not a good look. But, just in general, I mean, after seeing United be languishing in, eighth place or seventh place or whatever for so long and having yo-yo seasons, the thing that we were looking forward to has been able to kind of dig into what's happening now. And United have made 2 signings so far this summer, and in Euro especially, that I'm sure everybody is absolutely delighted with the fact that United are getting this one over the line. And I would have loved to have heard Rob's thoughts about that, and I'm sure everybody who's listened to this for any amount of time would have liked that as well. Sorry, I'm not looking down the lens of the camera, by the way. If you listen to this on audio, I'm just rambling here. I haven't got a script or anything because I just thought it was the best idea to come on here and just give you a picture, really, of where we stand, what's happened, and to kind of get the message out there now to people who maybe hadn't have heard this already. But yeah, it's obviously I'm sure you can understand it's been a difficult period for everyone. And me personally, I was happy to a little bit reticent maybe while Rob was in hospital to pick up the baton and deliver like episodes straight down the camera on my own. I did manage to do it a couple of times. But yeah, it hasn't felt like the right thing for me to do since I found this out, obviously. And you know, look, I'm not sure what will happen from here. Like, I so appreciate all the messages. Really, really appreciate everybody who's reached out and sent their condolence or expressed just how much they've loved the show. Look, my job is still to talk about Man United, and I have been doing that. I've been out of the Euros as well, so I've got back early this week after the final, but I haven't really decided what the right approach is with this. Longer term, I love talking about United. It's just I made a habit of 3-4 years of talking about United with a person who became a really good mate, and he's not with us anymore. So I've just needed some time to get my head around that. Look, if you have any thoughts or if you want me to continue in whatever guise, then please let me know. I could really do with some kind of pick up on that. Anything I do in the future is not gonna veer away far too much from what me and Rob were doing, because that is the way that we view United and view football. I think you got every episode we did. I think you got something pretty authentic. and pretty spot on, even when it was difficult, even when it was, you know, even when it was, like I mentioned, like heavy defeats or chaos behind the scenes or chaos on the pitch or chaos with a manager, all of this, it was always authentic, and we kind of prided ourselves on that. But hopefully professional as well. And I think that's the way that we wanted to approach it, and I think we managed to convey that. Honestly, thousands and thousands of you. Like, I can't express enough how grateful I am that, like, thousands of you each week downloaded that episode or watched that episode, the episodes, uh, downloaded them on audio, Spotify and Apple, or on YouTube. Um, Rob and I really, really knew how much people appreciated it, and I just wanted to come on here, and obviously there's a lot of things to say, but I really did want to say a big thank you to everybody who's listened to this or who's enjoyed this, the Promise and Pod, over the last few years. We are, and I know Rob was so happy and proud of what we'd managed to create. And anything I do in the future, it's obviously going to be with Rob in my mind. So, look, I mean, hopefully I don't know much longer I'm going to go on for. I'm going to be honest, but hopefully you have stayed on to this point, because one thing I wanted to add as well is that in the description of this episode, I'm going to put a Just Giving link to a page that Rob's family have set up in Rob's memory for the British Heart Foundation. And I've placed some donations today. The guys in the 90-minute media office have placed a donation as well, which is super duper appreciated. And look, I mean, you don't have to, but if you would like to, or whatever, there will be a Just Giving link to donate anything you can to the British Heart Foundation in Rob's memory, to kind of help out where we can. But look, like, again, thank you so much, everyone, for your kind words, your lovely wishes. Like I say, I've shared it with Rob's family. I've shared them with Rob's family, and I think they mean a hell of a lot. And apologies for the radio silence on the audio and video feeds. But no, I just want to deliver this message and say thank you, and maybe let people know what's been going on and the reasons why there's been nothing delivered on the feed for a little while now. But I'll wrap it up there, I think. But please get back in touch, get in the comments here, and please show some love for Rob if every message that comes in is that it's just so nice to read, and it really kind of shows the mark that Rob and what he would say had on people. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure once I get my head around whatever there is to do next, and what happens, and like I say, anything I make in the future is going to be along the same lines as what Rob and I have been doing for a few years. I just don't know what's really gonna happen yet. But please share your thoughts with me. Please send your love to Rob and to his family, and there's a Just Giving link in the description as well. So please go along to that, and if you can, a donation would be really, really appreciated. But from Scott, I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself, on Rob's behalf, and on his family's behalf as well, for all of the support that's been shown. But until next time, everyone, thanks for watching or listening to this. I'm sorry that I've been a little bit all over the place, or there's been a few pauses, but obviously I'm sure you can understand why. But thanks everyone. Speak to you soon. I will be back to deliver some kind of message in the future, but really appreciate all the love and support, and I'll speak to you soon.